We might as well get cracking. So first of all, welcome back to everyone who has come back after the long break. I was pretty confident that this was going to be a pretty big challenge. As like the end of last challenge, there was a lot of people feeling the 14-day lockdown, 14-week lockdown. So like the first 2 weeks, whatever, it doesn't matter. I can have whatever I want, and then all of a sudden it turns to 6-7 weeks, and then you start breathing in to get your pants on, and I'll sort it out at a later date, and then here we are. So this is the time we're going to sort it out. So what we are going to do with the nutrition side of this, we always say the nutrition is key to this. You can come in and you can go through the motions with the workout. You can really do whatever. But if you can nail the nutrition side of stuff, the weight is going to fall. It will come off you. It's just, it's the big part of. But if you're going home and eating like an asshole, you are not going to get where you want to be. Okay, trust me. I've been doing this for long enough, and I've trained. I train 5-6 days a week for about the last 10-12 years. But my weight does this because there are periods of my life where I eat like a idiot, and there are times in my life when I'm really clean, and I can look at the photos over the years and go, yep, that was when I was being good, that was when I was being bad, but the training has sort of stayed pretty much exactly the same. So the nutrition is 80%, I would say, of it. Now, the way we attack this, the way we need to approach this, my goal is not that I hand you a piece of paper that says, here you go, day 5, week 3, at 11 a.m. you eat this, or you eat this, or you eat this. My goal is that you have a better understanding of what you are consuming, so you can then go ahead and make the right choices forever. Does that make sense? So I'd rather teach you how to fish than give you a fish, if that makes sense. I'm like Jesus.
Well,
just more modest. So in that regard, so what I want to do, over the years of, again, being in the fitness industry, I started about 2007. I have gone through I'm sure that most people here have gone through a ton of different diets. There's been different flavors of the month. They come and they go. Has anyone just rattle off a few? I mean, Weight Watchers, Paleo, Atkins, Keto, fasting, intermittent fasting, detox diets, cabbage soup, grapefruit. There are some weird and wonderful diets out there, but they all have. When you look at them all from 1,000 foot, the one common denominator, the one thing that they all have in common is that for you to be losing weight, there needs to be less energy going in than you are burning. It doesn't really matter what that energy is coming from, where it comes from. If you have got more energy going in than you are using, your weight will go up. If you have less energy going in than you are burning, your weight will go down. It's just like a seesaw. It's really that simple. Okay? So, if we are going to be able to know whether too much is going in or too little is going on, we need to be able to measure it. Okay? We need to be able to know what's going in and what's going out. So what we come up with, I'm sure everyone's heard of this, is the unit of measurement that we have with this is a calorie. Who hasn't heard of a calorie? Exactly. Okay, so it's a scientific measurement. It is a unit of energy, and it is the energy required to lift 1 kilogram of water from 0 to 1 degree. That is it. It is a unit of measurement. That's all it is. And different foods have different calorie values. Okay? Actually, I think I might be a little bit off with that. I think it's kilocalorie. I think in Australia we call it a calorie, but it's actually a kilocalorie. We don't call it kilo anyway. But if you just think of a calorie, it's just a unit of energy. So when you're putting in 1 calorie, it's a unit of energy that's going into your body that you will use to perform your day-to-day tasks. So if we move on from that, we need to know how much energy we're using and what actually we need. So we end up with a 24-hour period. Again, if my drawing is terrible, I apologize. And we can break up how much, so this is 24 hours across here. So this is going to be the total amount of energy that you use over a period of a day. This will be what you use. It's what we call the Tdee, or the total daily energy expenditure. See, I wrote it fucking down. All right? Total daily energy expenditure. So on any given day, this might fluctuate, but there are big portions of this that stay pretty standard all the way through. All right? A very, very large proportion of this, let me just draw my little map here, which you can probably put, varies from different people to different people, but somewhere between 60 to 70% right here of your area is what's called your BMR. Your basal metabolic rate. So this is the energy, resting energy, the expenditure. So this is energy that if you did not get out of bed in the morning, if you just laid there, that is how much energy you would burn. It's why people in a coma can lose weight. Because you're just lying there. It takes you've got processes going on in your body that you don't even think about. Your bowels work. Things happen without you even thinking about it. Okay, so it's basically, if you think of the energy that you put into your body, somewhere between 60 to 70% of it. You hear people saying that a high metabolic rate, 60 to 70% of the energy that you put into your body will be spent just keeping the lights on. All right, so that's your starting point. All right. Now, so that's what we call the resting energy expenditure. We then move into the non-resting energy expenditure. And these are broken up into 3 different areas. The big portion of it, again, big, is probably about 20%. Take you up to about maybe 80% of your daily energy expenditure. This is what is called your NEAT. Okay? Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So what does that mean? That is me flapping my hands about. All right? That's you walking. That's you moving your face as you talk. That's, it's basically moving around, being alive, doing what we do on a day-to-day basis. Okay? This is something you can do quite a lot with. If you have a very sedentary job, if you sit in front of a computer screen all day, this is going to be pretty low. If you are a workman, if you go out and work with your hands a lot, go out, a tradie, whatever it is, they're out and about a lot, they're walking a lot, they put a lot of steps in, this would be significantly higher. Okay? So this can actually be affected by what you do on a day-to-day basis. All right? Going for a long walk in the morning, make a big difference to that. Okay? We then have another little area in here. I'm just got to double check this, right? This can be up to, probably up to 15% or so, taking us up to about 95% of our total energy. This is what we call our TEF, or thermic effect of food. All right? What that means is, it is the energy your body uses to turn the food that you've put into it into energy. If that makes sense. So if I eat a banana, it's going to take a certain amount of energy for me to break down that banana to have more energy. Does that make sense? Some foods have a better bang for your buck. Fibrous foods and proteins are very hard, relatively, to get the energy out of. So if you can have a higher protein, higher fiber diet, you're going to use more energy to get that energy out. Fats are really easy. You've got a lot of calories in fats, and your body can break it down really, really easily as well. Okay? So that takes us up to about 95, 96, something like that, 97%. It's a big chunk. We then have our last area, which is up the top, which is what we call EAT, which is our exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is the additional stuff. This is the weight training. This is the 30-minute workout we do in here. This is the, this is the fun stuff that we do in here, playing soccer at the weekend, whatever it might be. Your body gets very good once it gets fit at being efficient when you, for breaking down calories. The fitter you get, the less calories it takes to perform that particular task, if that makes sense. If you look at it from a 24-hour period, and let's say just for ease of math, so 24 hours, I burn 2,400 calories over that entire period. So every hour, I burn 100 calories to be alive. For one of those hours, I dump my heart rate up by 50%. So for that 1 hour that I burn 100 calories for anyway, I'm going to increase that by 50%, and that's being really generous. Like, do you reckon for that hour, your heart rate is doubled the entire time? No. But that's just being really generous, so you can add 50 calories to it. So you go from 2,400 just to be alive to 2,450. So 50 calories, and again, that's being really, really generous. So the feeling like you've earned that Big Mac on the way home is fucking bullshit. All right? It is not real. It does not work like that, unfortunately. It'd be great if it did. It would be great if it did. Where you can get your bang for your buck, where you sort this out, is looking at it over a whole thing. So the more you can increase your NEAT. So being active for long periods of time during the day. If you have a sedentary job, try and find 5 minutes every hour. Go for a wander. Just little bits and pieces like that. That will make a significant difference. Okay? Going for that big long walk in the morning, coming in and training. Obviously, I'm shooting myself in the foot here. Keep your gym membership, obviously. You need that. But the more you can do, the more just generally active you can be, the better, the more this thing you can actually change. The other way you can genuinely change this, if I've got 2,400 calories, rather than looking for those extra calories, I need to look at what I'm getting where I'm getting these calories from, how many are actually going into my body, and that is how we are going to get those numbers to drop back down. If I know how many calories I need, and I'm tracking how many calories I'm putting in, I will say it's mathematically, scientifically, you cannot put on weight if you are eating under your calories. If you are eating less calories, and you're genuinely not fucking lying to me, which is another thing I've got to take into account sometimes, I had a salad every day and I put on 5 kilos. Really. Is generally what you'll find is there's a problem with you've got your total daily energy expenditure wrong. You've rated that too high, or the way you're tracking things, that's wrong as well. Okay? But I would rather it's not going to be an exact science. You are not going to be able to track exactly to the exact perfect calorie what you have actually put in the system. All right? You just can't. I mean, different foods have different, like you might have a steak, and this one steak has a couple of grams more fat than the next, but it actually weighs the same. It might be a few more calories. You can't get 100%, but you can get it pretty good. Okay? If I've got a map and I'm trying to find somewhere, if I've got a rough idea where it is, that's a better option than no fucking idea. Does that make sense? Okay? So, what we need to do is we need to track, we need to know what's going in, and we need to know what's coming out. Now, the way that we are going to do that is we need to track it. The best method we have for this is what we call, and I think a lot of you have already got it from previous times, or those who haven't, those who are new, you're going to get the MyFitnessPal app. Before you get to that though, you're going to go to Tdee calculator. If you just type in, Google that for me, Tdee calculator. Tdee calculator. Is that the one? Yeah. Okay, so right there, metric. Put in whether you are a boy or a girl. Put in your male or female. Put in your age. You've just done your weight, height. Now, activity. Basically, everyone should be ticking sedentary. Okay, unless you are on the tools all day mixing cement, you are sedentary. Okay, you're better off to go that option anyway. So if you hit sedentary, if you did get your body fat when they put it in, when you did your weigh-in before, you can whack that in and hit calculate. So for you to maintain the weight that you are currently at, that is the calories that you need to consume on a daily basis. Okay, for you to stay where you're at. Now, if you go down a little way, you'll see macronutrients. You can go maintenance, cutting, or bulking. We want to go cutting. Yeah, you need to work on that ass.